All right. Good to go.
Are we starting?
Yep.
Everybody's laughing at us. Okay. Hi. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Scott. I've probably spoken to most of you or have at least emailed you. And I'm here. I do service and sales at Fitness Finders.
And my name's Joey. I work with Fitness Finders 2 and specifically EasyScan. And today we want to take you through EasyScan, the #1 lap tracking app. So what is EasyScan and why do you need it? Well, EasyScan, like I said, is the best lap tracking app on the software on the market. As a company, Fitness Finders has been in the line of promoting and motivating positive behaviors for over 40 years. Our niche, which was in 1986, was Mileage Club. Many of you have probably participated or seen schools participating in it. It was created as a structured way to get kids more active before, during, and after school. As the students completed the laps, they'd get dried beans. Well, the students soon learned that they could bring their own beans. Then we went to bingo chips. The same thing happened next. And mileage marker cards, our tally sticks, the more modern versions of those were created and not easy to replicate by the students. And those were created, and of course that was all tied into the Mileage Club program.
However, teachers still had to do all the work themselves, tally all the laps, create all their data, put it all together. So about 4 years ago, we said, that's an awful lot of work for you guys to be doing. We can do this better. So we created EasyScan. And what EasyScan does, it takes all your data, all your information, all your awards, gets everything put together for you, just a touch of a button. Makes it very, very simple. It's easy.
Exactly.
Now, last year, there were 5 million miles logged using EasyScan. And this year, with your help, we're going to do over 7 million.
So next, another reason why you need it, some successful cases for using EasyScan include before and after school programs, recess programs, fundraisers, fun runs, like a turkey trot that you could have coming up, classroom brain breaks, PE classes, cross-country teams, girls on the run, even behavioral and attendance programs. The list goes on, but those are some successful reoccurring cases of why people are using EasyScan.
Right, and I know you'll have your own reasons for using it, and we thank you for it. Okay, let's get started.
All right, so I want to go ahead and walk you through kind of just the general setup and what it looks like when you are using your device and the system. So let me go ahead and share our screen real quick. All right, so the first thing you're going to be getting after you place your order is an activation code. So you can see here I've got my activation code and a link to activate it. I would go ahead and copy that code and click on the link. While that's loading up, I'll just show you. We'll also send you a bunch of helpful walkthrough information, help you get started up and make it as easy as possible. So let me go ahead and put my code in here. All right, and I will click activate, and here we go.
There, you're in.
Logged in. Of course, terms of service, I'll agree to those.
Some of you have already done this already, but for those of you who haven't, here it is. It brings you right up to EasyTally. Now, EasyTally is the online part of EasyScan. This is the database that you'll use to put all your students in, all your programs, everything you're going to need to gather your data. Okay? So why don't we get started off with, well, take it away, Joey.
All right. So you saw here that the URL that I'm in, easymilegeclub.com/setup. Easymilegeclub.com will be your hub for all of this. Got all my school info, address. Don't worry about the number of enrolled students. You can come back and once you have an accurate count, you can change that. You can put 0 in. I'll just put, just for an example, 100 in there. And next we're on to program.
Yep. Now, program is the EasyScan name for the group, time period, or school year that you want to run. We're just going to enter one for now, but with EasyScan, you can run as many as you like. So if you have a morning program, then you have your PE classes during the day, and you have an afternoon run club, and some of you might have an evening run club. Maybe one of your teachers says, I want a brain break group. You can add all that in there. You can put in as many as you like. We'll start with just one today. So we'll hit add program, come up with a name for it.
Our morning miles.
Morning miles. You know, when you put your start date in, your end date, I would always start with at least today's date.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to run into a little bit of trouble because it tells you it's not active yet. So make it today's date. Even if you're going to start it 2 months down the road and you're working on it today, have it start today. Okay?
Exactly. And then this is another way you can separate data as well. So if you have your morning miles and you don't want them to have the same information as you don't want the data going to the same place, go ahead and do your after school one. And here you go. Now you've got morning miles. All the data from those kids are going to go to that program. All your data for after school will go to that program.
Yep.
All right. We'll go ahead and hit next. But let's just look real quick. Let's just say you made a mistake, you forgot something. You can always go back at this during this process.
Yep.
No problem at all. You've got your previous and next buttons there.
Excellent. Now we're on courses. And as you see, a course is a track or wherever your students are going to run. It can be outside, you know, around the track at school, around the football field, around the playground. It can be inside, in the gym, through the halls of your school. We do have teachers that actually have courses in their rooms. We laugh, but these are for brain breaks. Sometimes they have kids who are a little rambunctious and they tell them, you need to get up and move. And the kids go around the room, scan their card, and it helps burn off some of that extra energy those kids have. So like I said, a course is anything you want. Joey, show me that course.
All right, so we'll go ahead and name it. This will be my outside course, our outside track. And most tracks are about 4 laps per mile, standard ones anyways. So I'll go ahead and add that one.
And don't worry if you don't know the exact length of your track right now. You can always change that later when you say, oops, I've been giving them, you know, this far, they're only supposed to get this. Don't worry about it. You can change it later. See?
Change it just like
easy
that.
to do.
No problem.
The little pencil symbol there is perfect. That's your edit. You can always come back.
Exactly. And just like the programs, you can add more than one. So let's say I've got an inside gym, and that one's, let's say, 10 laps per mile. Go ahead and put that on there. And now you've got that set up. But the thing is, 10 laps per mile, it's probably not going to take them 60 seconds or so to get all the way around. They might be a little bit quicker. The scan delay, that is going to be the amount of time that you will allow a single student to be able to scan their same card again. It's not going to affect the next person in line. Scott comes up after me. I've already scanned. He can scan right away. But if I try to get in front of him, scan again, or scan right after him, it's not going to let me until that 60 seconds is up. I want to go ahead and change it to 40. And now it's set for me.
There we go. All right, let's move on to classes and students.
All right, so you most likely have been sent an email such as this with a list of student names, or you have a database. No problem at all. We can get you set up with that. So I've got first grade Mr. Smith, and I've got his classes here. And you're going to see, I'm just going to simply copy those names.
Mm-hmm.
Add class, Mr. Smith. For now, I'll put myself as the teacher and create class. Use the drop-down arrow. You'll see create student, copy, paste students. Copy and paste. Paste them in. And here you go. Now they're all lined up. Let's say I forgot a name. I want to add an extra. I can go ahead and add a name in there if I need to. And there it is. Right in, no problem. You can copy and paste, you can type them. Just to show you how quick it is, I'll do my next class, And we've got Mrs. Powers. Myself as the teacher again, grade level. She's still in first grade per my sheet here. And I'll copy them. Go to Mrs. Powers' drop-down arrow. Paste them right in. And there we go. Away we go.
Wait a minute. Ed Daniels is no longer in that class.
Uh-oh.
What do we do?
Well, in that situation, since we're at the setup right now, that's no problem. Leave them in there. And you want to go ahead and hit next. That's going to finalize everything for you. Now I'm back at the class sheet. And this is something we get asked a lot. How do I delete a student? Click on their name in the class sheet in the purple section, and this window is going to come up. You can edit their name, move their classes, move their grade levels, or as we need to, just go ahead and delete them out of there.
Just like that.
Now, go ahead and click back, and Ed will be gone for you. All right. So, yep, and there he is. He's all gone.
One thing you'll notice as you're working your way through are these little question marks right here. Those are automatic help. Click on that. It's going to open a page and tell you exactly what you're working with.
Exactly. And it's even specific to the page that you're on. As you can see, we're on the class sheet, and it's got questions about the class sheet on there.
Yep. That's one thing to know when you're working through this is help is always just a click away. Right down here in the lower right-hand corner, this is our chat system. You click on that, and it's going to take you to chat. And we're in Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Eastern time. Again, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Eastern time. And we have our IT guys here. They're happy to help you. They can send you videos. If for some reason you need to get, you're working and we're not in, right down here, again, in the lower right-hand corner is an FAQ. You can click on that, and it's got a whole bunch of things you can click on and find your way around in there too, okay? Your support is always free with EasyScan for the length of your subscription. You'll never have to pay. If you've got a question, let us know. We're here to help you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the next step that you would probably do is you'd go into this Edit My School button, review all your information, maybe set up some more users, adjust your classes, assign teachers to them, all that good stuff. But we'll go ahead and show you now a fully set up class. So let me go ahead and get there for you. Okay. All right, so let me share my screen again with you.
Here we go.
All right, so we're going to see a few things different here. So up here in the teal box, you saw that the program name was in that before, but we only had the two. Now there's several in here. I've got my last year's, I've got this year's, I've got my turkey trot for an event that I'm going to be doing coming up, and I've got my Girls on the Run for my after school club. So you've got a lot going on here. Let's go back to Edit My School and just go through these tabs real quick so you can get a quick view at how to get the full thing set up. So here's our awards. You can see I've got several set up here, mostly tow tokens because that's our favorite here.
That's our, yes. Awards are a really, really important part of any mileage club. It keeps the kids motivated. It makes them, they really want to work towards that awards. You guys know this. Use it to your advantage. You get the kids involved. They can win some sort of award. Obviously, we're in the business of selling tokens. We'd love you to use our tokens. But if you don't, make sure you're rewarding them somehow. It will keep them active and involved and motivated.
Exactly. It's the best way to keep a cycle of motivation going. So we got our awards added on there. If you had to add more, just click the Add Award. If you need to delete any, go ahead and hit the trash can. When you've got them all set up in there, now you'll get to your award levels. You see I've already got several set up in here. When they reach the mile distance, they would get a tow token and their choice and their necklace. Their second mile, they're going to get the purple tow token, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and add something ambitious here, and let's do 100 miles. And this one, as you saw when I was typing it in, is very special. It's the golden toe token.
Mm-hmm.
Many kids would run days for that token.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we've got it set up in there, and now I'm going to be alerted when they hit that 100-mile mark, because I know there's going to be somebody, they will get that golden toe.
Oh, yeah.
We can go back to our classes. I can add more onto here as we were doing earlier. I can go back, create these, or if I need to, I can actually edit my class info and assign the correct teacher to that class like I had not done before. I'd actually assign it to myself. Let's say it needed to be to teacher 5. I can go ahead and assign that to them now, change their grade level. And if you need to add a teacher, you would do it here in the users page. We'll come back to this, but you would add them as a user first, and then you can assign them to a class. But we'll get back to there in a second. You want to tell them about courses next?
Courses, we talked about that before, where they run. You can see we have a number of them set up in here, each with their different, well, each can have a different unit, whether they're miles or kilometers, if that's what you need.
Exactly.
The distance, different name, and of course, different scan delay. So whenever you call this track up, you don't have to say, well, gee, I have to reuse all that same data over. No. You can change it to whatever you need. You personalize it, customize it to the course itself.
Exactly.
Right, next is devices. And these are the devices that you're going to scan on, whether it's an Android phone or a iPad or an iPhone. We suggest when you set it up, put a name to it. Otherwise, you get those long string of numbers that are the serial number. Who knows? This way, you'll be able to check A, what version of the app you're on, and B, when was that device last synced. If you're missing data, a lot of times it's because you didn't sync an app or didn't sync a device.
Yep, and you'll see the app version. You'll know if you're on the latest one or not.
Yep.
All that good stuff. You saw the programs tab already. One thing you didn't probably see is the archive. You can archive old programs and go back and view their data anytime later.
Mm-hmm. QR codes. Here's what everybody wants to know. How do they print their QR codes? Okay, when you're in Edit My School, go to the QR codes. First thing, choose your size. Business card size for today. Who we're going to print? Well, let's print them by a class. Choose your labeling options. We'll have the school on this one. Then select the class. And you can go ahead, click generate, and it's going to download. Shall we do that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and show them real quick.
Yeah, here we go. It's going to generate.
That way they'll know how many per page we'll print.
It'll create a PDF, and then you just got to print it out. Something we run into recently is that printers, when you're printing these out, if you're having trouble printing them out, check your printer settings. We designed this so they fit on a page, but sometimes the printers aren't clicked to fit to page. Make sure you click that, and then you'll get everything on one page.
Nothing will be cut off.
Yep, you don't want them cut off.
All right.
There we go.
So we showed you how to print your QR cards. Next, Teams. Pretty straightforward. It's another way to get sections of students divided up.
Say your morning mileage club. You've got a team for, well, here we have the super runners, and we also have the fitness team. Both of those teams can run under the same program, and then you can split them up.
Exactly. And let's say I want to do just first graders, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Morning miles, add students, grade, first. And look, I can just go ahead, and you're going to click this check mark, and it's going to put them over there. You'll hit OK, and there you go. You've got them added on there.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, we have our users page. Like I said, this is where you can add other teachers in your school. There is no limit to how many users you can have in here. You can add every single teacher in your whole school, and they could all be using the account all at the same time even. There's no limit there.
Yep. One thing you do want to be aware of is when you give someone access Full access obviously is everything. That's what you have. You're the main administrator. You want full access. You want to be able to add, delete, create everything. You may not want everybody to have full access, and you don't have to give it to them.
Exactly. You'll see right here this drop down, scan and view, scan only, scan, view and edit, full access, and it'll explain to you down here what the levels are as well. And now you've got it set. Oop, I need to select a grade. See, it'll tell you.
Yep.
And now let's say I've got him set up. I want him to scan and view. I'm going to click this, and that's going to send him his own password. He can log in now. You'll notice I've got a shared user account here. I'll go and delete it out just so you can see. You would have a new shared user account button here that you can add. All this will be default filled in for you. Go ahead and give it a password and create, and every single person is going to be able to use that same email and password at your school, even at the same time.
Yep. So say you have, this is good for like parent volunteers who come in. Say your kindergarten class is running their first time, and you've got 15 parents who show up and they say, hey, we've got the EasyScan app downloaded on our phones. All 15 of those people can scan. Just give them that shared user account. They won't be able to get into the data. They won't be able to see that, but they can scan and then sync, and boom,
Exactly.
you've got their data.
All right, so before we move on, this will be our special segment today. We want to go back to programs and show you what it would look like year from year after you have been using the program. So let's say you've got your QR cards from the previous year. You've got a list of new students that you want to add in. You just don't know where to go now. How do I get these new students added in? How do I advance my old students to their new classes? All of that. Go to the Programs tab, Add Program. It's going to ask you, do you want to start from scratch, or do you want to base it off of last year's program? I would, in 2020, base it off of fall 2019. I would continue. Do I want to retain the students? Do you want to keep their QR cards or not? If you do, yes, you want to retain the students. If not, if you are not keeping their QR cards, it might be easier for you to click no and just type, copy and paste, or type them all in again. Let's say for this example, we want to go ahead and keep our QR codes and we want to advance students. So that advancing your students will require class lists, can take some time, but it will make sure that you can use your QR codes again. So it might actually be a benefit to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to retain mileage? Do you want them to start at 0 miles this year? Most people do. I do as well. I want them to start at 0 on this program. If I want to show them where they left off last year, I'll go to that archive program and show them. And here we go. So this will be 2020. And my start date, we'll do May to September. And it's going to load for a second, and it's going to take you to 3 steps: users, classes, and students. First, you have your users. If you have new teachers that came in from the last year, you can go ahead and add them here. If you need to edit, you can edit these names. Just for your purposes of saving you time, I'm going to go ahead and act like all these teachers are the same, and I'm going to continue. Next would be your classes. This is mostly just the names of the classes right now. You can see no students in these yet. That'll be the next step. If you need to add classrooms, or if you need to edit any classes, go ahead and do that now. For my purposes, I'm all set up. I'm going to use these same classes again. So now we're at next. This is the most important step of this. This is where we get the most snags. And you do not want to hit this done button until you're satisfied that all of your students have been moved over. So what you'll do, click on a student name, click what class they need to go into, hit that arrow, and it's going to move them over. You can do bulk names that way, move them over. Let's say Jody Anderson needs moved back. I just hit that, and now she's back where she needed to be. I've got all my grade levels here that I can filter through, so I only want to do 3rd graders, and I just want to move them into the 4th grade class. go ahead and click the class, move them, and you're done. If you hit done, any students that are still here are gonna be removed. They're not gonna be seen again. And then the ones that you've moved forward will all appear into their new classes. And that is pretty much all you need to do. And from there, you've got your QR codes from the old students still. All you're gonna have to do is print new ones for the new students. After that, you're done. And you can see I've got all my new stuff set up. My program has changed up here to 2020, and we're good to go. All right, so we want to go ahead and show you now how to scan on the app. That was our special segment of what it would look like year to year. We'll go ahead and try to cover something special each week for those of you following along with these. So I'm going to share our iPad screen now. All right.
Here it comes.
All right, Scott got us all set up there.
All right.
So I'll go ahead and have him show you what the screen is going to be all about.
Here's your opening screen on the EasyScan app. You're going to get this from either the App Store, the Apple App Store, or Google Play, and look for EasyScan 2. That's the app you want to download. Now you can see it has start session, time session, sync now. Good rule of thumb, every time you do something in EasyTally, sync it.
Always sync.
Always sync. Good practice just to do it before you go out, and when you're done scanning and you walk back in, sync it again. Remember, you don't need to have Wi-Fi to scan. Okay, we set it up that way. It gathers all the data without Wi-Fi, because a lot of schools don't have Wi-Fi outside. If you do, you're one of the lucky ones. Most schools do not, and you don't have to have Wi-Fi to scan.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, the next thing to know is when you're first setting it up, settings. Look at this. Right up here, right up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see Manage Installed Themes. You can click on that. This is where you're going to download your themes. We've got the Coach, we've got Pirate. There's also just a beep. You can turn everything off if you want. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel. We've already done that. We are going to say we don't want Coach today, we want the Pirate. Okay. Device name, name your device like we said. That'll help you find it when you're looking for it on a thing. Orientation, do you want it standing up? Do you want it on its side? How do you want it? Program, you can change that too. And there's also, where's the camera?
Camera here.
Camera. The camera can either be the front camera or the back camera. Okay, so we have what we want. We're going to hit Save Settings. Then we're going to go back to home. And we're back to this. So let's start a session and show you how to do some scanning.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start Session real quick. And as we mentioned, we synced. So we added stuff into that old to my account, and now you can see it coming up. The 2020 program is there now. If I did not sync, it would not show up. So that's the only way these two are going to communicate with each other. So let's go ahead and do Fall 2019. It's going to ask you which course that they're running at. So you're always going to get accurate lap counts. It starts scanning.
And there it
Here we
goes.
go. So you got the Pirate.
Turn that volume up a little bit, sorry. Come on. There we go.
All right. And just like that, you can see how quickly it scans. And this one is going to say scan too soon.
See that?
It's a scan delay we were talking about.
That's the scan delay. Okay. Let's try another one, see if it's been timed now. Oh, scan too soon still.
So
I guess we're not going to get too.
So you can see it's very effective.
Yep. Keep them honest.
One important thing is you've got two volunteers. They've got their phone with them. You can have them scanning also at the same time. You're going to have no issue with that. If I was logged in, another kid came by with a card, they'd be able to scan right away with mine. Mine would sync to the same system.
Exactly. You can have, this is a question I get every time, you can have as many people scanning as you want. You get 50 parents show up, 50 parents can scan.
Exactly.
If you've got yourself and 3 assistants, lucky you, all 4 of you can scan. Or if you happen to have 4 iPads and just one of you, you set up all 4 iPads and the kids can scan in each one. Now, one thing about those multiple iPads, you try to get the kids to go to each, when they go to an iPad or a device, they need to usually go to the same one each time. Okay, the lab counts will not talk between the different devices while you're outside. Again, it's set up this way because we didn't want to have to rely on Wi-Fi. So if a kid goes to my iPad the first time and the next time he goes to Joey's iPad, it's going to show him he's only got 1 lap. But once you go inside and you sync, boom.
They'll combine and 2 laps are going to show up.
There you go. So let's stop scanning. Are you sure? Okay. Now we're going to sync.
While that's syncing, I'll go ahead and stop sharing, and we'll get you back to our database, and we'll just go ahead and show you what it looks like when the laps are synced over. So you want to make sure that the program that you are scanning on is the one that you have correctly pulled up here. Still syncing, so just give it a second. And the class that we were in was Superheroes. And oh, it's all done syncing. So let's see.
Princess Leia was one.
Princess Leia was one. All right, so let's go find. Here we go. So if I click on her distance bar here, you can see right now, October 11th, today's date, right at this time, there was a lap synced. It's pretty simple. I can also go over here, see if there were any awards earned. I can mark them off if there were. I didn't mean to do that one, so I can unmark it if I want to. I can click on the trophy icon and do all the same, print their certificates. I can also see if they participated today. And here we go. Yep, there's my participations for this week on today's date. I can also print their awards list, print their school awards list, print the certificates from here. It's going to show you all that. I can also go into stats up here at the top and view reports. Do you want to give them a quick rundown on the view reports?
Sure. This is where you're going to find all those reports that are going to be very important for not only you and your runners, but for parents, teachers, your principal. You can take this to the school board and say, this is why you want to continue my program. Here's where you're going to show what the kids have done. You can set it up for daily. You can set it up for weekly, monthly, any time period that's in there. Okay.
And here's just an example of what a report would look like. It's going to show you the course, the date, the totals down here. It's going to give you everything that you need. You can break it all up like Scott said. All right. So do we have any questions out there now that we've kind of got to the end of our run through?
Oh, okay. When you have last year's program and you want to archive it, yeah, you'll archive that program and the data will stay there, but you can't change any of it. You can still view it, but you can't change it. It's just, it's a way to save it and get it out of the way so you don't have to worry about it being used again.
Exactly.
One thing you do want to remember when you're starting your new program, whatever program you have called up in the upper bar and that little teal button, we had Fall 19, that's going to be the one that you base your new programs off of. That answers your question? Okay, great.
All right, so another one that we had were about the QR cards, and that goes hand in hand with, so you probably saw that we had these plastic ones.
Yep.
These do not come with your subscription when you purchase it. You do have access to print your own as many times as you want. These are the ones that we sell. They're about 40 cents a piece. You don't have to have them. You can buy them though. Some schools, like when you're advancing your programs, do wish to do these because they're more permanent, long-lasting. You can use them year to year. A student could actually do it from kindergarten through 5th grade and use the same card the entire time. It's pretty amazing how much that can save you. And we do have a few other products, such as our tablet stands. We've got, what other EasyScan products do we have?
Oh, very sweet.
The cards.
Cards, t-shirts. T-shirts.
We might, yeah. Just go to our website,
Go to the website.
fitnessfinders.net,
You'll
for
find
all of our
yeah,
accessories.
and of course, we have all the awards you're going to need if you want to use our awards, which we prefer you do.
Yeah, and the kids will love them.
Yep, the kids love them. Speaking as someone who used to run a mileage club at an elementary school, the kids were crazy for toe tokens, and the lengths they would go to win them, pretty amazing. Had kindergartners that would do, a mile in a day. Why you could be doing so much more, but they had time in their 2 recesses. I don't think they get 2 recesses there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of unusual, but yeah, they work hard for it. It really motivates them.
And
Any other questions?
I actually did the program when I was in elementary school, and I earned those tokens, and that was my biggest motivator. I wanted those things.
We still have them at the house from my oldest kid too.
Yeah, we're kind of reaching the point where parents that had done it when they were kids now have kids that are doing it. It's pretty awesome.
Okay, well, that was a lot of information. I'm not seeing any more questions coming up. So thank you very much for coming today. We really appreciate it. This video will be on YouTube. You can get a link from me if you'd like. Feel free to contact me anytime you need. It's Scott@fitnessfinders.net. Scott with 2 T's. Or you can always call us 800-789-9255. And we're here to help you with that. And don't forget, down in the lower right-hand corner, there's a chat function right down there. We're in Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Eastern time. And we would love to help you.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you.